Hey, Michelle's daughter. How are ya? What's going on? I wanted to have a chat about what everybody else. Hey, text Coco, my baby. Go back in there for a second. It came off. Hey, Nixie Nix. Just Nick. Okay. Who all watched the gentleman's panel when it was a lot of coonery going on? I just want to know who saw it or who at least saw that particular part of it. Where's the back to this? Make sure you put the back on that, okay? You saw some. Did you see enough though? Did you see that? Stop, Luna. That's not the right one. Stop, baby girl. Did you see that? Okay, first of all, he was saying a lot of problematic things, a lot of rude things, and the women that were there were completely silent. Hey, sis, they weren't saying anything. The minute that the man they started to say things about Tracy, that's when these sisters chimed in. Now, I will give the LaShonda girl this. At the end, hey, Star, at the end, she did kind of say some things, like make some remarks about him saying, you people, and stuff like this. Hey, let's get real. Me either, Nixie. What I found really, really bad is, how is it that Kwani, first of all, I heard that he called Kwani, but I don't know how that went. Because then I've been hearing Kwani called him, so I don't know. When he talked to Kwani, said some things, and then she said, and you have this trash on your platform. And then he flipped it and was like, you can't tell me who to have on my platform, which is not what she did. So he hung up on Kwani. But then he continued to let this man use very offensive language. He allowed him to disrespect the black women on his panel. He allowed them to cut Lady P off and put his finger up. He did all of that. Kwani called him because he requested her calling in. So, do you guys feel like it's okay for you to hang up on Kwani because she told you who you had on your platform was some trash, but it wasn't okay for you to hang up on him? You actually got hung up on by the white boy. You let him do all of that, and you didn't once hang up on him, but you hung up on your sister, though. The minute that man said that he knows what it's like to be the N-word in the room, boiled my blood. Do you understand me? Because first of all, you will never know what it's like to be the nigga in the room if you're not a black person. Period. I don't give a damn where you go. I don't give a damn if you go to Afghanistan and they behead you. You're still not a nigga. You are a white person that was not liked in the area you were in, but you live you live in and are from America, and you are considered superior here. So you will never, have never, ain't gonna ever know the plight of a black person or know what it feels like to be the nigga in the room. And I was disappointed when Lady P is the one that actually brought it up and made that comparison, and it pissed me off. Hey View, hey J Dot, hey Treva, hey Ashaka Harris. None of it was okay. I'll tell you, I ain't mad at Jay Wilson. I don't dislike Jay Wilson. I was extremely disappointed in him. How he allowed that. And you hung up on this black woman for telling you that this man is a racist, which is an absolute fact. This is a fact. And you hung up on her. But here's the thing, though. He's making it as if he didn't know anything about the man's past. He didn't know anything about any of that. So how did you find this young man to send him the link? If you didn't know anything about him, Jay Wilson, what was your motivation of putting him on your show if you didn't know anything about him? I'm trying to understand that. Does that make sense to y'all? Oh, I don't know about this young man. I don't know nothing about this young man. I didn't vet this young man. I just brought him on to tell his story. How would you even know to bring him on if you didn't know who he was or what he did? Because last time I checked, when you do StreamYards, you have to literally email that person the link to join your StreamYard conference. How do you know his email? Did he email you? Because he was a special guest, according to Jay Wilson. If he was a special guest, that tells me you know exactly who this man is. He needs to be disappointed in himself because it doesn't make him look good. And no, man, he don't care. I'm gonna tell you this. Jay Wilson, this is I'm not gonna say this is who Jay Wilson is. I'm gonna say this is who Jay Wilson is on YouTube. Because at this point, it is all about a click and a view. It is all about a coin. His integrity is nowhere in that. There is no integrity. I watched Jay Wilson from the beginning of this little Kaya and Maddie beef sector started, and I was for him. And I was even still watching after. So I heard the most educated on the person on the platform didn't challenge what was said. He asked for anyone who wanted to participate to email him. Okay, so explain why he was called a special guest. Why was he considered a special guest if you don't know who he is? If you didn't know who he was and he was a subby that just emailed you and said, I want to be on the panel too, you would have just said, hey, we have a new subby come. We're having a subby coming here to be on the panel, like you introduced Wiggs and Wine and everybody else. But you didn't introduce him like that. You introduced him as a special guest. Yes, he changed for the worst, Caramel Gold. Absolutely. I don't think he changed as himself. I think he just changed on YouTube. Jay Wilson knew who that man was. Jay Wilson knew that this would be controversial. And I hear comparisons of Oprah Winfrey interviewing the KKK. And when this happened, this was years ago, and this was in a way less sensitive climate. It wasn't such a politically correct climate. And guess what happened? Oprah Winfrey, she was labeled as a coon for that interview too. Did you guys know that? She was labeled as a sellout and a coon as well. So the comparison of Oprah Winfrey, I wish she would dig a little deeper into the backlash that she got for it. And this is fucking Oprah we're talking about. Does anybody old enough remember when Oprah Winfrey did the interview with the KKK? And the type of backlash and the things people call her. They called her a coon. They called her a sellout. They said that she would do anything for ratings on her show. That's the same thing Jay Wilson did. Coon, sellout, anything for a click and view on your show. You remember, Sean? You remember View? Do you remember the backlash that Oprah Winfrey got? And there was no internet. There was only blogs and newspapers. And she got hella backlash. Hella backlash. No, it wasn't a bad show. And she actually, and the difference between Jay Wilson and Oprah is Oprah didn't just sit back and let them people run her show and make a fool of her. She combated things they said. She tried to change their mind and open up their horizons when it came to black people. That's what Oprah did. And she still was called a coon and a sellout afterwards. So comparing it to Bell, comparing it to Oprah Winfrey, because Oprah Winfrey got the same backlash, but she's a much bigger, much more respected person in the community. But she took a L when she did that. And have you noticed that Oprah Winfrey did not do any more Nazi or no other interviews? Sorry, you guys, my mom was calling me. I remember her show, on Forest County, most racist county in Georgia. She was trying to compete with Jenny Jones, and he did also Rivera. She changed after that. Thank you, Vibe Life. Gerard, I know what you meant, Gerardo. So, I saw the comparison. Oh, well, Oprah Winfrey, she did that. Well, this is Oprah Winfrey we talking about, and even she, the Oprah the Winfrey, got backlash because of that. So you can't sit up here and say, Oprah did it, and Oprah did it. Yeah, Oprah did it, and Oprah got the same backlash, but she's on a much huger platform. And to this very day, tell me if I'm right or wrong. To this very day, people call Oprah Winfrey a sellout. People call Oprah Winfrey a Uncle Tom. To this day, they do. Period. Am I right? Am I wrong? They do. So, well, Oprah Winfrey did it, and it was okay, because that was stupid. You know why? Because Oprah Winfrey got the same backlash he's getting. Coon, Uncle Tom, Wiggle Lover, all that stuff. House nigga. Everything that he's getting, she got and some, because she's on a bigger platform. So that was a stupid comparison, because when you're going to make a comparison, the best thing for you to do is do your research. Make sure that that comparison is a valid one, and it's feasible and it makes sense. Because that one was not a good comparison. Because yes, Oprah Winfrey interviewed the KKK, but it was very, very sensational. Look, sensational. Of course it was. But guess what? The backlash was real. And had we had internet and social media back then, it would have been way worse. They sure do, because she started supporting the black community and the rainbow community years ago, and she would be nothing without either community. Boom. So you comparing it to Oprah Winfrey, when Oprah Winfrey to this day is called a sellout. Says she sold her soul. Says she's an Uncle Tom. She's still being called that to this day. So I'm gonna need you to find a better comparison, because that one ain't working. The Oprah Winfrey one ain't working. Then he had the audacity to get on there, and instead of apologizing to Kwani when he got that backlash, which he'll never do, because he's never wrong, he got on there and said Kwani lied. What did Kwani lie about? Kwani lied about him being the wrench. But there's 50 fucking wrenches. And we do know devolving culture is one of the wrenches. The wrench that was in that chat might not have been him, but the devolving culture is the wrench. One of them. So where's the lie? Somebody type in here and tell me what it is that Kwani lied about. Because what he did was he tried to flip that backlash that he got and flip it back on Kwani. And everybody knows me and Kwani ain't fans of each other, but right is right and wrong is wrong. So did y'all see that he said Kwani lied about? Hey, baddie love. Chupacabra. Hey, sweetheart. What? Tell me, you guys, what was Kwani lying about? Anybody tell me. Leave your hair alone, baby. Will never take. Of course he won't. He will never take responsibility. A 50 fucking year old man. Let me tell y'all something. I did a video, right, about a bitch I can't stand, ass April, right? And I said that, you identify as white because you put white on your driver's license, because race comes on your driver's license. Well, one of my subscribers dropped down and said, actually, no. In the state of Ohio, they do not put your race. They'll put your weight, your height, and your eye color. And I said, you know what? I even got to thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? In Texas, they don't either. So what I did was I got on my community feed, and I shouted the person out that corrected me. And I let them know, my people know, that I was not correct and that the race was not on the license. That's what you do when you take accountability for when you say something that's incorrect. That's what an adult does. When they say something that's not right. Hi, Dree, sweetheart. Dree, you guys, look on my community feed. Dree did a live last night, and it was a wonderful live. It was very lit. It is not the Dree used to. So Dree is sweet and calm. So if you ever want to see the off the porch Dree, please go to their live. It's on my community feed. What is it called, Dree? If you want to, you could drop the link to your live in my chat. Thank you, let's get real. And I even said one day on my live, I'm going to make it clear in case people didn't see it on my community feed. So I'm making it clear now. I don't like April and fuck her, but what I said about her was incorrect. Her race is not on her license. So I corrected myself. Of course, he's not apologetic. He's not a man. Hey, McSweet. Dree. I miss you, Patrice. Dree, what is the name of that live? Is it called